Tell me when to go. Okay, this is hard for me to talk about, and you'll have to excuse me for smoking because it's difficult. But I want to start showing you some of the photos and give you some idea of when this happened. Here is a photo of infections that had seeped on my mother's bed from the sores on her body, the bed sores, and it had dried and she had laid in it for hours and they wouldn't change her sheets. Can you get a real close-up of this, please?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
The next one is to show you a picture of where those sores bled with infection and it dried and started bleeding again, and they didn't even change the sheets. This is where, instead of taking a bandage off of one of her bed sores and cleaning it like it should be, they rewrapped on top of old bandages, and you can see where it bled through into old and new. Their excuse was they were giving Mama good care. This is how they left her room sometimes when they go. That's not really that important, but this is where she had a bed sore, and that's the kind of bandage they put on it. Now, my mother stayed in the hospital from the time that for 4 months. It cost Medicare $250,000 to take care of her. And I even wrote Medicare and asked why. That I was questioning why they paid for money for the kind of care that my mother got. From there, on December the 14th, they got tired of her. So they decided they were going to send her home. Then they changed her mind and sent her over to Two Rivers Nursing Facility. It's like a nursing home next door to the hospital. They discharged her from that hospital with a temperature of 101, infections all over her body, and still semi-comatose, where she couldn't, 1 minute she knew where she was, next minute she didn't, and her breathing was hard. When we got over there, the staff immediately said, we can't take her because of the infection and the fever. And then from there, they let my mother lay over there from December the 14th until December the 16th, and not one doctor came to see her. Not one doctor provided her for food, even though she had a tube feeding. They would not give her water. For 2 days, my mother didn't get any water. Then on the 16th of December, they decided they better put her back in the hospital. So they told my sister and I to go over and register Mother in. Well, when we got over there, the receptionist says, we can't take her. I'm sorry, we just can't take her. And my mouth just dropped. I said, why? My sister said, well, she's a heart patient. They said, well, she'll have to lay out in the hallway until we can find someplace to put her. Well, I called Cynthia Turco, who happens to be the legal director and who made all these promises to help us get better care for our mother. And she lied. She didn't do nothing but protect the damn hospital. From there, I called her on a Sunday afternoon And I told her at her home, and I said, Miss Turco, they will not admit my mother back in this hospital even though she's been sent back over here. Now I want to know why. And I told them what we were told. She said to me, Miss Kells, let's just forget what's happened in the past and let's worry about getting your mother taken care of. I said, well, that's what I want, her taken care of. Well, while I was talking to her, they did find a room for my mother, but I didn't know it at the time. But I told Miss Turco under no certain terms, I said, this is your last chance, this is the doctor's last chance, and this is the hospital's last chance, and I hung up on her. And I went to check out to where my mother was at, and this is the condition, if you will bring the camera close, this is the condition that they brought my mother back to the hospital in. And when I got into the room there in the emergency room, I told my brother-in-law, I said, you go get me a camera. So he went over to Walgreens and picked me up a little camera, and when I went in there, I got my sister to help me take some more photos so I could prove to them the condition that my mother went to the nursing home in and the condition she come out in. And this is what we got. Now, if you will bring the camera closer where you can get the pictures, I would like to explain what each picture is. Now, this is the condition in which they brought my mother from the nursing home.
Oh, yuck.
This is some of the bed sores, and if you notice right there on her foot, oh, there's bed sores all over. You can see that. But if you notice right there at the bottom, just before you get to her heel, it's where the flesh was eaten through with a bed sore. And here is another photo. And this is how they discharged her from the hospital, in this condition. This is another one showing bed sores. This is another one. Whoops, excuse me. This is another one. And this is another one. Now I want you to see. No, they didn't believe that the flesh was being eaten off of her. So now I'm going to try to make it public to let you know. Now the next three pictures I'm going to show you is very hard for me, but this was taken in the morgue of my mother. She had on her behind a bed sore that lasted for nearly 4 months, the size of a 5-inch saucer.
Ugh.
And there is what she still had when she died. And I had the morgue to take the pictures for me. And this is another picture of it, the same thing. And you can see the outline of where, as large as it is, you can see in the white, it's almost as big as a 5-inch saucer. Here is a close photo of her heel, of her leg that was eaten through, a bed sore where the flesh was eaten through. And that was, and you can also see the little death tag she's got on her leg there, where they tagged her when she died. Now, I've gone to lawyers, I have gone to the governor, I have gone to Craven County Hospital, not Craven County, but Craven Regional Medical Center. I have gone to everybody under the sun and asked for help to please help me prevent this from ever happening again. And so far, everybody has completely ignored my sisters and I. We have heard, we have cried, we have prayed, we have done everything to try to get someone to listen. So I'm asking if there's anybody out there that would like to find out more information or would like to talk to us about some of the things you possibly can do to help a loved one, you'll find me. I'm in Eclectic, Alabama. 334-5